smugglers will take it out on the migrants, potentially flip a raft over, and it'll turn into a rescue operation for a bunch of little kids. Take a look at this last piece of video right here. This was remarkable last night. We witnessed automatic gunfire going from Mexico directly into the United States. The National Guard soldiers we were with, you can hear them kind of reacting, saying, whoa, holy bleep. They say this is suspected cartel gunfire going indiscriminately directly into the United States. They said it was going above one of their observation posts, kind of near the border wall, but incredibly rare to actually see direct gunfire from a machine gun going into the U.S. like that. This was the second volley. I didn't get my phone out in time for the first volley, but pretty wild to see that. And to wrap it up here, the National Guard soldiers told us multiple times in recent days, armed cartel members with AK-47s have stood on the opposite side of the Rio Grande from them and have taunted them, have racked the slides on their guns, and have yelled to them in Spanish that, oh, we should just shoot you soldiers. So tensions here along the Rio Grande, along the border, obviously going up, and that cartel activity in the city behind us, it's still there. We'll send it back to you.
Wow. Bill, that looked like tracer fire. And if the video is correct, from left to right, that would be from south to north, as you described from the Mexican side. What would they be firing at?
We don't know. So in past days, the soldiers have told us there have been a ton of cartel gunfights here in the city behind us. It's called Ciudad Miguel Alemán, one of the most violent cities. We don't know if that gunfire was from a Mexican drug cartel shootout or if they were just shooting across the border as an intimidation factor above one of the observation posts. We don't know, but you're correct. That was tracer gunfire. You can see the red tracers, and typically that's every few rounds is when you see one of those tracers. But the soldiers told us they suspect it was from an M240 machine gun, or potentially, because the tracers were so slow, it was potentially a .50 caliber machine gun. So they don't know exactly, but you can kind of hear the reaction of the soldiers in the background watching it with us. They were pretty shocked to see that.
It's a remarkable report. Bill Melugin back in the border.
Bahashim, Harakak Wadash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nagwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth, man. Yeah, man, you got America under attack right now at the borders, right down in Mexico, or the Texas borders. And you have, now I want to speak on something from a few years ago. They were speaking about possible connection with Mexico and Iran, with them setting up shop in Mexico to be able to shoot over the borders. Now you got the cartel stepping up. Remember, they were doing all that to them Haitians, man. The troopers on the border, they caught them with whips and, whipping them in the back, keeping them in the water. Now you got cartel members, man. You know, they crazy, man. But they're going across the water, kind of helping the immigrants, if you want to, the migrants, man, if you really think about it, helping them across the border, bringing them over here to Babylon, but either to get destroyed or to be delivered from this place, man. All right. Now, I'm going to read this article. It's from Fox News. You can't never trust Fox News or Google. But it says, Fox News, Bill Mulligan crew capture cartel gunfire into U.S. This is remarkable. It's starting to look like over there in the Middle East, man. You got a lot of the migrants could be cartel members as well, or Afghanistan, or terrorists, or whatever. Or they can use this for a false flag, within the country. You know how Esau do, all right? But anyway, I'm gonna keep going, man. All right. It says video footage shows suspected cartel members firing multiple rounds across the border into the United States. Fox News, Bill Mulligan and his crew captured a gunfire on camera Thursday. That's what you saw at the beginning of the video. Thursday night from Roma, Texas. All right, that's where it happened at, Roma, Texas. And said Texas National Guard soldiers stationed at the border have witnessed many cartel gunfights in the area. Mulligan witnessed the gunfire firsthand, calling it remarkable. Wow. That's deep, man. That's crazy. All right, I got this damn devil as Edomite. What is she looking at? My goodness. Let me go. All right, so now it says Mulligan witnessed the gunfire firsthand, calling it remarkable. Friday on America's Newsroom, he said National Guard members were unsure whether it was a cartel shootout or just an intimidation tactic. All right, was it a cartel shootout or was it an intimidation tactic? All right. National Guard soldiers told him armed cartel members have stood across the Rio Grande and taunted them multiple times in recent days. All right. Wow, man. So it's been really kicking up on the borders. They seeing the downfall of this place, man. They seeing the confusion within their ranks as well. All right. The land of unwalled villages. The National Guard here has soldiers all over the place, as well as observation posts all over the place. Mulligan said they're keeping an eye out for runners and human smugglers, man. So they can use this to collapse the economy as well, man. All right, and what would be the word? Drain the resources of this place, man. All right, weaken the resources of this place. In the later night hours, we started seeing a constant stream of these rafts and these human smugglers, and they were bringing across hundreds of family units, he said. Now, that could be for two reasons. One, it could be they really trying to help out, you know, helping Jake's out, the Mexican Issachar. Or it can be they getting paid by the elites to flood America with people. All right, to tilt the scale and bring this place down. You'll see the smugglers. They were afraid. One guy was shirtless. They weren't afraid. Salakia, you'll see the smugglers, and they were not afraid. One guy was shirtless. He was laughing, making jokes to us. All right. In multiple instances over the past several days, Texas DPS tells me suspected cartel gunmen involved in human smuggling have stood and near the Rio Grande in Starr County and taunted Texas National Guard soldiers. They wear tactical vests and have AK-47s. One man who crossed into the U.S. on a raft told Mulligan he spent $12,000 to have himself, his wife, and his child brought into the country. So they getting paid by the people to bring them over. So they kind of helping out. Secretary of State Blinken, DHS Secretary Mayorkas, and Attorney General Garland are traveling to Mexico to discuss. Here they go. All right. Let me read this. It says, safety is an increasing issue. As Mulligan reported, National Guard soldiers are unable to arrest the human smugglers when they reach the shoreline for fear of retaliation. You know, that cartel ain't no joke, man. It was like an army. And it's like his own government. They're worried the other smugglers will take it out on the migrants, potentially flip a raft over, and it'll turn into a rescue operation, he said. All right, this is Jeremiah 51:12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For Yahweh have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So whoever's over here, man, they're going to get caught up in this shit if they're not of the elect. All right? So they're setting up the watch. They're trying to make it strong. And even spiritually, the Lord had us set up a watch. All right? But Esau is setting up their watches. But also the Lord set up the ambush against them. Just like the sea rages against the shore. All right? The Most High controls them both. It says, O thou that dwellest upon many waters. And it's America. America's dwelling upon what? Many people. And also it's surrounded by water. Abundant in treasures. See, abundant in treasures. Now this goes along with Revelation 18. All right. Thine end is come in the measure of thy covetousness and thy greed. Yahweh of hosts, the Lord of hosts of armies, have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee, man. All right? And that's what's happening even on the borders. Why? Because, check this out. All right? I'm going to read this, Ezekiel 38:11. Now, this is ultimately talking about Russia, but Russia, China, Iran, they can all use proxy nations or proxy groups, militias or whatever, or armies to come against this place, just like America's been using over there in the Middle East. They've been using proxy countries and terrorist groups to go against these nations over there. They created the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and all that. So now that these other nations are in power, they can do the same thing against America. All right. And plus, you know, there's going to be a civil war here, man. And that's part of it as well, the cartel. All right. Issachar. It says in Ezekiel 38:11. So ultimately, this is talking about Russia, but the nation that's going to be with Russia, that Russia's going to use against this place. And the Most High going to put the thought in their mind to do so. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land, Ezekiel 38:11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. So this place is an unwalled place, man. It's not protected. And the defenses cannot stop anything that Russia really has, man. All right. They had that invincible missile. So America's basically defenseless right now. But they can go against somebody like China in a war. But what about a germ warfare? That's something different. What about an economic war with China? That's something different. But in physical war with Russia, America's going to lose. You know, the Lord has prepared Russia to bear and strengthen them. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates, man. All right. And that's, you know, so they coming up this place. And watch this. I'm going to get this real quick. Isaiah 14:9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee. Moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming, man. All right. So the Lord is stirring up these nations, and even Jakes to go against this place, man. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, man, and even amongst them cartels. All right. And what's that? You know, they got them putting out these mandates. All right. And it says, check this out. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? You know, that's some nations, and also these proxy nations as well. America's falling, their economy's falling. All right, and their defenses are failing. and weakening at the border. And all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? And that's mainly talking about like Iran, and Korea, North Korea, you know. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. All the riches is being brought down to a hellish condition, a low condition. And the noise of thy vows, all right, all the mirth is done in this place. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee, man. So what that represent? Destruction. All right, America dying out, and all the nations are ripping this place to shreds. It says Job 18:5. It says what? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine, man. All right. And that goes with the scripture I just brought out. We talked about what? Lucifer falling like lightning to the earth. All right. How did I fall from heaven, O Lucifer? Talking about Esau, man. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him, man. So all their wickedness and their iniquity is going to be put out with this place, man, with the judgment. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsels shall cast him down. And you got your Congress, you got your Senate, you got those elites, you got Republicans versus Democrats, Satan divided against Satan. And all these nations that they were under deals with, now the nations are coming up against this place, man. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare, right? When they pulled out of the Afghanistan deal, pulled their troops out of Afghanistan, they opened up a Pandora's box, man. A beehive. All the nations around the world saw that, and that showed America's weakness in their leadership, all right? And negligence. And you have when they pulled out of Afghanistan, that made China want to go to war with America and try to take Taiwan. All right, so now check this out. The steps of his, for he is cast into the net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The jinn, right, everywhere this nation goes in the world is a trap for this place right now, especially for Esau. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way, man. So there's a trap set up for this place, and the Lord waiting for him to hit that tripwire, and it's going to collapse on him, man, as a breach ready to fall. Terrorists shall make him afraid on every side, and that's happening right now. On every side of this place, on the east and the west coast. On the west coast, you have the tankers, ships stuck out there. On the east coast, you have possible nuke attacks and all kind of other shit, weather atrocities. And the same thing on the west coast. They have the hurricane creeping up that they're not even talking about. They got earthquakes in the Midwest, all right, floods, and you got nations being brought in on every side of this place right now, even through Florida, even through Texas, even through Miami, even through not Miami, but California. All right. So they say it's supposed to be 80,000 Haitians, man. Once they said it was about 20,000 that showed up, so they were waiting for 60,000 next, and that doesn't include all the Afghanis, all of the Colombians, and all the other South American nations that are Israelites that don't know they're Israelites. A lot of them, but Biden invited them over here, man. Why? Because they want to bring this place down. All right, so there's terrorists making these people afraid on every side. and shall drive him to his feet. That's why they like, yo, they had all the troopers on the border. And ultimately, these nations like Russia and China and Iran gonna make America be driven to their feet on the borders of this place. But you still have Mexico, right, with the cartel. So they're being driven to their feet. All right, just like the king of Assyria, who was Ashurbanipal in 612 BC. He was made to stand upon his feet, and that's in Daniel chapter 7. All right. And he had to fight on 3 different fronts, or 2 different fronts. I think it was the Medes and what was now called the Babylonians at the time through Nebuchadnezzar, all right, who started Babylon around 627 BC and started revolting against Assyria in 626. And then around 612, he brought that place, came up against that place, man. All right, the Lord brought Assyria down. It was called the fall of Nineveh. So that's the same thing. That's why we call America spiritually Nineveh. All right, because it's going to fall in the same way. The same wickedness is here, idolatry. All right, terrorists shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, man. So this place is weak now. The economy is weak. Their military is weakened. Look at that. There's a big split because of the mandates. And it was already weak because of that. They got sodomites in it, all kind of shit going on. Nobody want to join the army. They don't trust this place. You go to Russia, the whole country is an army. You go to China, the whole country is an army. You go to Korea, the whole country is an army. All right. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side, man. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing the destruction just waiting. And the Lord brewing it up, heating up the kettle. And you're seeing them people like Mexico cartel shooting over the border. It looked like something over in the Middle East, man. So he said, what? Terror shall be, destruction is waiting at every side of this place right now, man. It's building up. So with that, I'm going to say, just stay circumspect, man. And the Lord said, well, look up, because our salvation is closer than when we first believed. And that's what we hope for, to see the downfall of our enemy, see the downfall of Esau. So with that, I'm going to say, Akal Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Harakah Kodash Ma'amath, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders, and shalom to you, Akim and Agwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the 4 corners of the earth. Shalom.